Well, I'm told by a source in the convoy that as dusk had fallen and the majority of the trucks, the 44 trucks carrying aid, moved into Madaya, there were experienced aid workers in that convoy who'd seen a lot. They were reduced to tears by what they saw inside of Madaya. Now, these 44 trucks met a population whose children simply approached them and politely said, "Can I have a biscuit, please?" Some of the children said, "I just want French fries and a ketchup." Very human needs and very urgent need for 400 people there, says the UN, to be evacuated. Such is the state of their malnutrition. And those aid workers in there, despite the fact that 44 trucks of food, medical and surgical supplies and winter clothing isn't really much in a population that's starving of 40,000. Aid workers have a more immediate challenge, because if you overfeed or too quickly feed people who are badly malnourished, that can make them sicker. So they're going to have to stagger the delivery of aid, choose who the priorities are, whilst of course dealing with this urgent situation where in the hospital, I'm told, the aid workers were actually able to come across an emaciated man in that hospital. The hospital itself, makeshift, part of a home where a veterinarian, two dentists and a doctor are delivering what care they can, and nurses are simply learning on the job. That's the kind of challenge those inside that town are dealing with. I should point out, though, this isn't the only city in Syria that is badly in need of food aid. 15 are, say the United Nations, and on that same day that Madaya got assistance, Madaya held by the rebels, besieged by the government, two towns in the north of Syria, Fuwa and Kefraya, which are loyal to the government, besieged by rebels, well, they also got aid too, to their population of 20,000. Less of a spotlight on that tragedy in northern Syria. Madaya, though, the social media campaign that led to this UN-brokered decision to allow tit-for-tat aid to both the rebel and the regime sides here, this now needs the aid day by day, we're told by aid workers, to allow anything like a normal situation to return. People living on what they refer to as besieged soup, and that's simply hot water with spices and occasional flecks of wheat added to it. That's what a child gets each day, and that's actually what the aid workers were offered when they entered by residents, trying to customarily be hospitable like Syrians want to be. And they, of course, aid workers refused that, but it just the sense, I think, of desperation they saw in the eyes when they went into Madaya stayed with certainly the source I spoke to on the convoy, and brought home the urgency of the kind of consistent daily aid that's going to be required to prevent further loss of life inside Madaya. Nick Paton Walsh, CNN, Beirut.